Welcome aboard Qodly, your ultimate gateway for web business apps creation. In this tutorial, you will discover how to craft this page as a crucial component of a project management app powered by Qodly. This page empowers you to manage your boards in real time, seamlessly search through them, filter by zone, add new boards to your existing ones, and much more. Let's dive in. Let's create a new web form named Index, where we'll integrate the Crafts component, a navbar, which we have saved previously for reuse across applications. This functionality is facilitated by Qodly, allowing seamless integration and customization of web components. Begin by adding a web form loader to the style box. Upon adding, select the initial value for display, which entails choosing a web form. Let's create one together. Name it All Boards. Start by adding the first style box onto the canvas and disable all margins by toggling the neutral light icon. Place another style box within the first one and insert icon and text components. Label the text component as All Boards and capitalize the text in the font section. Ensure the layout is flex with justification set to flex start and alignment to center, with a gap of 6 pixels. Choose the appropriate icon. Adjust the dimensions of the icon to 30 pixels and set a border radius of 50% for a circular shape. Select Display Flex with justification and alignment set to center. Further, styling involves setting the weight to 500 and size to 20 pixels for the parent style box, as well as setting appropriate colors. Set the width of this style box to fit content and padding to 0. Drag another style box and set it to Display Flex with center alignment. Adjust the width to fit content and apply appropriate styling for the zone filter, including setting the border, width, and options for the select input component. Let's add the option of this component. As you can see, each option has a value. This value will be stored on the Data Explorer. Set padding left and padding right to 6 pixels. Select the style box of this component. Choose Display Flex and put a gap of 6 pixels. Integrate a search filter by adding another style box and inserting icon and text input components. Conceal the text input label. Set appropriate styling for borders and padding, and change the icon position to absolute to put it within the input. Customize placeholder text, text type, and dimensions of the input field. Add a button for action and style it with background color, border radius, icon positioning, and size adjustments. Ensure alignment with the rest of the elements by setting the padding of the web form to 0 and justifying the parent style box to the end. Now, let's create a matrix by dragging the first style box and inserting the matrix component within it. Attach a data source, specifically an entity selection, to populate the matrix with relevant data from the board data class. Here is the data class board that I created in the model section, with some data within it, contains the different attributes that we're gonna use to fit the matrix. So let's create the data source. We have two options regarding the data source. The first one is intended for use within this specific web form. We should create it here. However, if the data source is meant to be shared across multiple web forms, it should be created in the namespace. Since I intend to utilize it exclusively within this web form, I will proceed to create it here. Name the data source, select the entity type for the data source, opt in for board to display boards on the matrix. Drag and drop the created data source onto the matrix. Select the matrix style box and drag another style box within it. Set the width to 411 pixels and the height to 200 pixels. The same for the min and max height. Select the style box and set its width and height to 100% to cover the entire width, applying a border radius of 12 pixels. Apply the Flex Grow CSS class to another style box, ensuring it occupies the remaining space on the page. Apply the Flex Grow CSS class to the matrix as well. Set the minimum height of the matrix to 200 pixels and delete the explicit height property. Lastly, select the style box and set the padding to 15 pixels. Insert a text component within the matrix and bind the text component by typing board name into it. For the data source, use $this. $this represents the current object, where name is an attribute of the board data class. Click bind. Set the text weight to 500 pixel and size to 16 pixel. Within this style box, add another style box and choose Display Flex. Select the text component and set the min width to fit content. Add another style box within this one and drag the icon and text components into the designed style box. Label the text component as summary and set its size to 12 pixel. Configure its width and minimum width to fit content with center alignment. Apply 6 pixel padding on both the right and left sides and give it a border radius of 12 pixel. Choose a suitable icon and set the cursor to pointer. Adjust the dimensions to 30 pixel. Opt for Display Flex layout with justification and alignment centered. Apply a border radius of 12 pixel and set background and text colors. Finally, set the padding of this style box to 0. Choose a Display Flex for the style box and set its height to fit content. Create a new CSS class named Dropdown Parent to enable the appearance of the chilled summary upon hovering over the parent. Create another CSS class named Dropdown Shield for the shield summary with display none and overflow visible. Set its width to fit content, position to absolute, top to minus 20 and left to minus 10. Put the padding to 0. Save the parent style box as button hover with the pointer cursor. Access the craft section to save these components for reuse across applications. In the craft section, drag and drop the button hover component onto the style box. Set it to Display Flex with a gap of 3 pixel and repeat this step for the third time. Assign icons for board summary, edit board, and archive board respectively, adjusting the left position of the text component as needed. Set background and text colors accordingly. Set the justify content of the style box to flex end. Choose a Display Flex with center justification for the board name. Adjust padding to 6 pixel for the matrix style box and 0 for the selected style box. Within this style box, add another style box and set it to Display Flex with the column direction and space between justification. Duplicate this style box. Insert a text component within the newly added style box and type description. Set the font size to 14 pixel and bind it to $this.description. Put the padding to 0 and set the height to 27 pixel. In the last style box, place an image component to display the owner of the board. Set all dimensions of the image to 22 pixel and apply a border radius of 50% for a circular shape. Add a text component alongside the image. Set the font size to 12 pixel and weight to 500. Choose Display Flex with center alignment. Select the text component and set the min width to fit content. Type full name in the text and bind it to $this.user.phonename, where user is an entity on the board data class. Apply capitalization in the transform option. Select the image component and navigate to the Explorer. Access the shared repository, then navigate to logos. Drag and drop the desired image into the image component. Now, set the data source to $this.board.user.pictureprofile. Add another style box to display the project zone. Put the padding to 0. Add the icon and text input components into the style box. Choose Display Flex with flex end justification and center alignment. Set the font size to 12 pixel. Add a gap of 6 pixel and set the font weight to 500. Choose an appropriate icon for the zone. For the binding, type zone in the text component and bind it to $this.zone in the data source. Apply uppercase transformation to the text and set padding to 0 all around. For the description text component, apply the ellipsis CSS class. This class ensures that the text is truncated to 3 lines maximum. Similarly, for the board name text component, apply the Trinket CSS class. Select the matrix and set its height to 100%. Set the background color for the selected style box. Set also the background color for the web form. Choose display flex with the column direction for the web form. Select the style box containing the matrix and set its height to 100%. Set the background color for the text input within this style box. Finally, save your progress and click preview to see the latest version. Now, we have a visually appealing matrix showcasing a list of boards. We will delve into the code editor to explore how to filter boards by zone and search for specific boards. Begin by creating a data source of type string to bind the zone filter. Set the initial value to all. Once the data source is created, drag it onto the select input to set the zone. To bind the search board, proceed in the same way. Select the web form and open the contextual panel to add the first standard action on the onload event to reset the zone. Type zone for the data source and select the reset action. Let's create the function to filter by zone and also search different boards in the matrix. Navigate to the model and click the plus icon to add the function. Name it Search from All and choose the data class type. Define two parameters, search and zone, corresponding to the data sources created. This function should return a board selection. The logic is as follows. If zone is not equal to all, search for the name and zone of the board, and optionally order by name. Else, display all the boards. Now, let's call the function on the zone filter. Add two parameters, search and zone, to the web form. Set the entity selection data source of the matrix to display the results within. Select the zone input and add onChange event in the data source section. Select the zone input and add the function search from all in the onChange event. Hit preview to see the result. The zone filter works correctly. Now, let's apply the function to the search input. Save and click preview to see the results. As you can see, the zone filter and the search is working perfectly. This tutorial is now concluded. By following these steps, you have taken a significant stride in mastering this platform. Thank you and stay tuned for future tutorials.